So question 1. Write 7 over 100 as a decimal. Well, you can just do a 7 divided by 100 on your calculator, or you could use the fractions button on your calculator and you get 0.07. So 48 over 60 on your calculator. So you just simplify that down. 24 over 30 is when you halve it. 12 over 15 when you halve it again. Divide top and bottom by 3, you get 4 over 5. And I think if you go and do that on your calculator, what happens if you do that on your calculator? Yeah, you could just put 48 over 60 into your calculator using the fractions button, and that will also just give you 4 over 5. So don't take the risk, just use the calculator button to make sure. Now 17 over 3 on your calculator, so turning this into a mixed number, well, we're dealing in thirds, so 3/3 make up a whole. So we're going to be able to get 5 wholes out of this. That will be using up 15 bits. So that would be using 15/3, and then we've got 2/3 left over. And again, let me see, just using the fractions button on your calculator, 17 over 3 equals, that turns it into a decimal. So you do need to be able to turn this improper fraction into 5 2/3. So just to recap, each whole uses up 3/3, so 5 will require 15/3 and 2 left over. Now for part D, there are 840 tickets available for a concert. A seventh of these tickets have not sold. How many have been sold? So let's work out how many have not been sold first of all. So you can either do 840 divided by 7, or you can do a seventh times 840 on your calculator. Again, use the fractions button to get your seventh, and that gives you 120 tickets which are not sold. Well, there are 840 tickets altogether. Take away the 120 which were not sold, giving you 720 tickets sold. Question 2. So, which of these countries won the fewest total number of medals? Well, you can see this is the smallest bar, so Kenya won the fewest number of medals. Now we're told for part B, Great Britain won 27 gold medals. How many of the medals won by Great Britain were not gold medals? So we need to see how many medals were won by Great Britain in total. So here's the Great Britain column. That's going up to here. Now going from 60 to 70, we can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines in between, so we must be going up in 2s between each line. So 62, 64, 66, and halfway between 66 and 68 must be 67. So 67 medals won in total by Great Britain. Take away the 27 gold medals, gives us 40 medals won by Great Britain which were not gold. Part C, write down the ratio of the total number of medals won by Russia to the total number of medals won by Germany. So, total number of medals won by Russia is here, that's 56. Total number won by Germany is 42. So, Russia to Germany, 56 to 42, just from the bar charts. Now, we've got to give you a ratio in its simplest form, so we have to simplify this. Well, they're both even to start with, so we can divide both of these by 2. And then 28 and 21 are both divisible by 7. So divide both of these by 7, you get 4 over 3. Now for part D, what fraction of the total number of medals won by US were gold? Well, gold is 46 out of 121 when you add the 3 together. 46 out of 121 as a fraction is just simply 46 over 121. Question 3. So write down the mathematical name of this 3D shape. Well, this is a prism. It's a prism because it has the same cross-section all the way through. If you were to take slices of this, you keep on getting this triangle. So prism is the answer. Triangular prism would be an even better answer, but prism would have given you the mark. Part 2, how many faces does the shape have? Well, it's got 5 faces. There's sort of the 3 bits on the sides. It's sort of in the middle rather. And then obviously it's got the 2 ends. So we've got the 2 triangles on the end, then the 3 rectangles in the middle. 3 and 2 is 5. Part 3, how many vertices does the shape have? Well, vertices means corners. Well, it's got 3 corners on one end, 3 corners on the other, so that's 6. Question 4, part A. Change 650 centimetres into metres. So cent, it means century, so we're timesing by 100, or dividing by 100, dealing with 100. Centimetres into metres, well, metres are bigger than centimetres, there's going to be fewer of them, so we have to divide by 100. 650 divided by 100, 6.5 metres. Now for part B, we've got to change 8 litres into millimetres. Well, milli or kilo, they're all to do with 1,000. Remember, centimetres is the only one dealing with 100. Now millilitres are tiny, so there are going to be lots of these. So it's 8 times 1,000, which is 8,000. Now part C, we've got a 6 kilogram sack of rice, and we'll empty it into bags, each bag with 475 grams to fill it. So start off by converting the 6 kilograms into grams by timesing by 1,000, kilo 1,000. So we've got 6,000 grams of rice in the sack, and each bag requires 475 grams to fill it. So 6,000 divided by 475, we could fill 12.63 bags. Now the question asks us how many bags can we completely fill, so be careful. Don't round that up to 13. We can only fill 12 bags with a bit left over, so the answer is 12. Question 5. So 6x plus 8x minus 3x. Well, 6x plus 8x is 14x. Take away 3x is 11x. Now part B, we're just multiplying these together, so that's 4 times E times 5 times F, times the numbers together first of all. 4 5s of 20, so it's 20 times E times F, so 20EF. Now for part C, remember 8p means 8 times p, so to get p on its own we have to undo the timesing by 8 by dividing both sides by 8. So p equals 24 divided by 8, which is 3, because obviously 8 3s are 24, so p is 3. Part D, well, and you can probably just do this by sight. What number, when you take away 4 from it, gives you 13? Well, that's 17. But following through the algebra, how do we undo taking away a 4? We add 4 to both sides, so k equals 17. Now with part E, just be careful when you're gathering like terms that you take on board this is minus 3t. So with the t's, we've got 10t take away 3t, which is our 7t, plus 7t, it's plus. And with the d's, 4d add 2d is 6d. So our answer is 6d plus 7t. Question 6. So we have to fill this two-way table. So just fill in the gaps really. So 16 take away 9 gives us 7. So once we've got this 7 here, we can work out this 14 by doing 23 take away 2 take away 7 is 14. Then we can do the 14 add 16 equals 30. And then we're just filling all the gaps. So 16 add 9 add 2 is 27, and 2 and 2 is 4. So fill in the gaps. There's always one missing number as you look down rows or columns. Right, part B, just be careful here. What percentage of these 50 people were female and went on holiday in Africa? So Africa and female, there's 9 of those, 9 out of 50, which is the same as 18 out of 100, so 18%. Question 7. So you've just got to take your time here working through the information. So we're told that 4 kilograms of potatoes cost £3.80. So if that's what 4 kilograms cost, how much would 1 kilogram cost? Well, you're going to divide that by 4. £3.80 divided by 4 is £0.95. So if that's what 1 kilogram costs, how much are 3 kilograms going to cost? We'll multiply this by 3. 3 lots of £2.80, sorry, 3 lots of 0.95 is £2.85. So 3 kilograms of potatoes cost £2.85. Now looking back at the first sentence, we're told that 3 kilograms of potatoes and 2 kilograms of apples cost a total of £7.33. But we've just worked out those 3 kilograms of potatoes cost £2.85. So these 2 kilograms of apples must cost £7.33. Take away this £2.85, which is £4.48. So 2 kilograms of apples are £4.48. So the cost of 1 kilogram of apple must be what we get when we halve this, which is £2.24. So question 8, work out the size of angle EAB. So from E to A to B. So it's this big angle here, this obtuse angle here. And we've been told to give a reason for each stage of our workings. Right, okay. So first things first, we can see that this angle must be 60 degrees because this is an equilateral triangle. Angles in an equilateral triangle are each 60 degrees. So that's the first fact, that one in blue. Now secondly, I can see that this angle DCB must be 72 degrees because angles on a straight line total 180 degrees. So that's my fact there in pink. Now because I now know 3 out of 4 of the angles in this quadrilateral here, I can work out this angle DAB, this 63, because the angles in a quadrilateral add up to 360. 360, take away the 90 degree right angle, take away the 72, take away 135, means this angle here must be 63. And that's this fact here in black. Angle DAB is 63 degrees because angles in a quadrilateral add up to 360 degrees. So finally, angle EAB, which is the one I need, must be these two angles added together, 60 plus 63, which is 123 degrees. Question 9. So here we've got a graph where we can change degrees, temperatures in degrees Celsius along here into temperatures into degrees Fahrenheit. So we're told that the temperature in Dubai on Monday increased by 20 degrees from midnight to midday. What is the temperature increase in degrees? So we don't actually know what the temperature was to start with and to finish with. We just know that the increase was 20. So we just need to take any 20 increase. So I've done, for example, the temperature going from 0 degrees centigrade to 20 degrees centigrade. So taking these two readings, I get 30 and 66 in Fahrenheit. So the change in temperature in Fahrenheit is 36 degrees Fahrenheit. Any answer between 34 and 38 was allowed because the graph is quite hard to read. So just so we're clear, you didn't have to do it between 0 and 20. You could have done it between 10 and 30 or 20 and 40. And because it's a straight line, you would have got the same answer. Now for part B, we're just trying to see when we double the centigrade, do we double the Fahrenheit? That's the statement here. Well, that only works if your straight line graph goes through the origin. Otherwise, you can't say that. So, is this person correct? No, as graph doesn't go through the origin, doesn't go through 0, 0. Question 10. So here really the only catch is just remembering the difference between lowest common multiple and highest common factor. Multiples are big, so they're going to be bigger numbers. Factors are small, they're going to be small numbers. So the lowest common multiple of 12 and 20, you need to do your 12 times table and your 20 times table and see when you first meet, and you first meet at 60. Now for part B, let's just write out all the factors of 24. So they're all the smaller numbers that when you times them together give you 24. So 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, 4 times 6. Those are all the factors of 24. And then all the factors of 56. Again, the numbers, whole numbers, which when times together give you 56. So 1 times 56, 2 times 28, 4 times 14, 7 times 8. So which is the highest common factor here? So common means in both lists, and then highest is obviously means which is the biggest one. So the highest common factor is 8. Question 11. So we're putting these cartons into this box, and we need to see whether we could fit 110 cartons into this box. So think about the dimensions as you work your way around the box. These cartons have got a length, or a width rather, say of 5 centimeters. So squeezing them in widthwise, we could fit 6 in, because 6 5s are 30. So just picture lining these cartons up in the box. You would get 6 in a row on the bottom. Now what about depth? How many could you fit going backwards? Well, again, 5 centimeters into 15, we could fit 3 in. So if you just imagine one sort of layer of boxes on the bottom, each layer is going to be 6 times 3, which is 18, and then you put another layer on, and so on and so on. Now how many layers could you put in? Well, this isn't an exact one here. We've got each height of carton is 5. 5 6s are 30. So actually when we layer these cartons in here, there's going to be a little gap at the top, but because we can only put 6 cartons in going upwards using up 30, clearly we couldn't put a 7th one in because it would go over the top. We wouldn't be able to shut the lid. So we can actually only fit 6 layers in. So the number of boxes is going to be 6 along, 3 back, and 6 layers. So 6 times 6 times 3, which is 108 cartons. So we cannot put 110 cartons in the box. He's got 110 cartons. We can't fit them all in. We could only fit 108 in. Question 12. So we've got to describe the single transformation that maps A onto B. Well, this is a reflection, and it's a reflection if you put a line in here straight down the middle between the two shapes, so sort of 2 squares in from both. Now this mirror line is when x equals -1. Just be careful, not y equals -1, x equals -1. Think about all the coordinates that would lie on this line, any points on this line. For example, -1 1 or -1 2, -1 3. The x coordinate is consistently being -1. So reflection in the line x equals -1. Now part B, we've got to translate triangle B by the vector 2 minus 6. This means 2 to the right and 6 down. So take a point and just move that 2 to the right and 6 down, 2 to the right, 6 down. That is still the bottom left hand corner. So just draw the shape in from that. So go 4 up, 2 across, and pop in the diagonal. Now for part C, we're being asked how would we transform C back to B. Well, again, this is just another translation. We're just shifting it back to where it started. So rather than being 2 to the right and 6 down, it's now going to be 2 to the left and 6 up. So that's going to be translation by the vector -2 plus 6. These two coordinates in the vector, these two numbers in the vector, are just changing sign. Question 13. Now I think these are quite challenging. You've really got to sort of concentrate here and work you through the information, just sort of using the relevant bits. So let's kick off with the children. We're told that the number of girls to the number of boys is 2 to 7, and yet there are 160 girls in the cinema. So if there are 170 girls, we need to follow this ratio 2 to 7. So how do we work out how many boys there are? Well, we can divide by 2, multiply by 7, meaning there are 595 boys. So the number of children in total is the girls plus the boys, which is 765 children. Now we're told that these children comprise 3/5 of the people in the cinema. 3/5 of the people are children. So 3/5 are these 765 children. So if that's what 3/5 is, what must 1/5 be? Well, let's divide this by 3, and that gives us 255. Now we're trying to work out the number of adults in the cinema. Now given the children are 3/5, the adults must be 2/5. It's the rest of them. So if 1/5 is 205, 2/5 being the number of adults must be 2 lots of the 255, which is 510 adults. Question 14. So we've got to find the bearing of ship M from ship L. So we've got to measure the angle at L. So what we do, pop a line in from L to M, and then we measure the angle from north, but measure it clockwise. That's what bearings, we always measure from north, and we measure clockwise. So that's going to be 110 degrees using a protractor. Now for part B, we've got to mark on this map where ship P is. And we know two things about ship P. It is 40 kilometers from L. Now the scale of the drawing is 1 centimeter to 5 kilometers. And we're told our ship is 40 kilometers away. Well, 40 is 8 lots of 5, so it's going to be 8 centimeters away on our map. So we know the ship is going to be 8 centimeters away from L. So we get out our compass and we measure 8 centimeters between the pin and the pencil tip, and we do an arc which is 8 centimeters from L. That's what I've done there in black. So somewhere on that black line, that black arc, is ship P. Now the other fact that we're told is that it is on a bearing of 240 from M. So we're going to be measuring this from M. Now a bearing of 240 means we need to have a clockwise angle of 240 from M. Now if you've got one of those protractors that measures 360 degrees, that's easy enough, you can do 240. But if you've got one of those sort of half moon shaped protractors, it's probably easier just to measure the angle that remains, so the angle coming the other way. Now because angles about a point add up to 360, this angle here must be 360 take away 240, which is 120. So measure an angle of 120 around here and just pop in a line with a pencil which is 120 degrees away, and we know the ship is somewhere on that red line. Now given the ship is somewhere on both that red line and the black line, where they intersect is where the ship is, so X marks the spot. That is where ship P is. Question 15. So part A, we've got to write down the modal class. Well, modal means most. So which parcel cropped up most frequently? Which is the biggest number of parcels? Well, we can see we've got 19 parcels here. That's the biggest number of parcels. So which was the modal class? We'll look across to the left and just copy this out exactly. P is greater than 0, less than or equal to 1. Now for part B, we've got to work out an estimate for the mean weight of the parcels. Now it's an estimate because we don't know how much these 19 parcels, for example, weigh. We know they weigh between 0 and 1 kilograms, but we don't have the information to know exactly how much these 19 parcels weigh. So the best we can do is just assume that they weigh straight down the middle. So the midpoint between 0 and 1, which is a half. So we need to use all the midpoints. So go halfway down between 1 and 2, which is 1.5, 2 and 3, which is 2.5, and so on, and get a midpoint column. Now if the midpoints weren't so easy to spot, remember the midpoint is just the average. So you could just do 3 and 2, for example, and then halve it. Half of 5 is 2.5. So once you've got your midpoints, we're now going to assume that's exactly how much the parcels weigh. So 19 parcels weigh 0.5 kilograms, 12 parcels weigh 1.5 kilograms, and so on. So what's the total weight of all these parcels? Well, 19 weigh 0.5, so that's 19 lots of 0.5. 19 times 0.5 is 9.5. 12 times 1.5 is 18.0, and so on. So you cross multiply these midpoints with the frequencies, pop in a column over here, and then you add up those to get 56 being your estimate of the total weight of the 40 parcels. So to work out an estimate of the mean, you divide this 56 across your 40 parcels. 56 divided by 40 is 1.4. Now be careful, do not round this. You should give exactly this number exactly. That is not where the estimating is coming in. Remember, the estimating came in right at the beginning of the question when you made the assumption that the parcels weighed the midpoints. Question 16. So, easy enough one to start with. The index laws, when you're multiplying, you add the powers. 5 add 9 is 14. Now be careful here. Think of it as being 2 to the power of 4 and also m cubed to the power of 4. Now 2 to the power of 4 is just 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is 16. Now m cubed to the power of 4, when you have a power inside the bracket and the other power outside the bracket, you multiply these together. So that's m to the power of 12. Now for part C, you start off by multiplying out the brackets. So you do the claw. 5 times x is 5x, 5 times plus 3 is 15. So 5x plus 15 equals 3x minus 4. Now we want to get all our x's to one side and all the normal numbers to the other side, and it's easier to take the x's to the side with the biggest number of x's to start with. So on this occasion, the bigger number of x's is on the left hand side, so let's take all our x's to the left. So this 3x here, this plus 3x, is what needs to move. So we're going to choose to take away 3x from both sides. So on the left, taking away 3x, 5x take away 3x is 2x, and our normal number, our plus 15, remains unchanged. This instruction only affects the x's. Now on the left hand side, we've just undone the 3x, so we're left with the minus 4. So 2x plus 15 equals minus 4. So we've got all our x's onto the left. We now need to get all our normal numbers onto the right. So we need to undo this plus 15 by taking away 15 from both sides. So on the left, we've taken away this 15, leaving us with the 2x. And on the right, minus 4, take away 15 is minus 19. Just be careful, work your way along the number line. So 2x equals minus 19. So to undo the timesing by 2, we divide by 2, so x equals minus 19 over 2. Now in the mark scheme, that is the preferred answer, but if you want to change that to minus 9.5, you may. Now for part D, remember when we're factorising a quadratic, we end up with a pair of brackets. X is going to be the first term, because x times x gives us this x squared. So we need to focus on how to get these two numbers here. Now these two numbers multiply to be the number on the end, which is the minus 24, and at the same time add to be the coefficient of x, the number in front of the x, the plus 2. So what two numbers multiply to make minus 24 but add to be 2? Now that's 6 and minus 4. 6 times minus 4 is minus 24. 6 minus 4 is 2. So our final answer for D part 1 is x plus 6, x minus 4. Now once we've factorised this expression, it's easy to move on to solving this equation, because the left hand side is again x plus 6, x minus 4. Now what we need is when we multiply these two together to get 0. Now to get 0, when you multiply two things together, either of those two components have to be 0. So either this first bracket overall has to be 0, or the second bracket has to be 0. How do we make this first bracket 0? Well, x would be minus 6. Alternatively, how would we make the second bracket 0? X would be plus 4. Question 17. So A part 1, write down the numbers that are in set A. So that's just basically all the numbers which are in the A football. So it's these numbers here, but also the 1 and the 3. All the numbers in the A circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. Now B union C means all the numbers that are in either B or in C. So the numbers that are in B are 1, 3, 11, 7, 9 and 5. And the numbers that are in C are the 10 and the 5. So B or C or both. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 and 10. There we go. Now Brian writes down the statement A intersection C equals this symbol here. Now this means nothing. It means an empty set. So Brian's basically saying there is nothing that is in both A and in C. A intersection C means where A and C overlap. Well, A and C do not overlap. There are no numbers which are in both A and in C. So Brian's statement is correct because no numbers are in both A and C. Now for part C, we've got to find the probability if we pick a number that it is in set C dash. Now C dash is the complement set for C. That means with numbers which are not in C. So how many numbers are not in C? Well, this 8's not in C, or this 9, 7, 11, or this 1 or the 3, or the 12, the 2, the 4 and the 6. Now there are 10 numbers there that are not in C. Now that's 10 numbers out of a total number of 12. So 10 out of 12 is the probability of getting a number that's not in C. So that's your final answer, 10 over 12. If you wanted to, you could simplify it to 5 over 6, but you didn't have to. Question 18. Now it may be that your calculator allows you to go straight to answer for both of these, so just double check whether yours does. Okay, and with part B, make sure you take advantage of using that fraction button, which is sort of 3 down on your left hand side on most calculators. So with a bit of luck, you can go straight to answers here. Now if you can't, let me just help you along a bit. So we've got to write this as an ordinary number. So it's a big number because this is a positive power. So think of your 8, and then you've got to hop along 4 places with your decimal point. So it hops along 4 places, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's got 4 numbers, 4 zeros before it. So 8 followed by 4 zeros, 8,000. Now when you pop this into your calculator, it may go straight to answer, or it may give you 1 over 2,000, which is 0.0005, in which case you'll need to change this into standard form. So it's going to be 5 times 10 to the something, because remember with standard form the first digit has to be between 1 and 10. The power is going to be a negative power, because this is a tiny number, and then you just need to decide what this power is. So the decimal point is presently here. The decimal point's got to move to being after the 5, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 hops. So that's 5 times 10 to the minus 4. Question 19. Now when you've got to plot a straight line graph, and we know this is going to be a straight line because there's no squares or cubes or anything, you just need a couple of points and then you can just put a line through them. But I would suggest you do 3 coordinates for luck. So set up a little mini table over to the side and choose 3 simple x values, for example 0, 1 and 2, and in turn just substitute these x values into this function. So I'm going to start off with my 0 and put my 0 in here and see what y value I get. 2 lots of 0 is 0, add on 3, you get 3. So 0 add 3 is 3. So when x is 0, the y value I get is 3. And that's my first coordinate, 0, 3. Secondly, I've chosen an x value of 1, so pop that into the function. 2 lots of 1 is 2, 2 and 3 is 5. So when x is 1, y is 5. That's my second point, 1, 5. Now that would be enough to pop in a straight line, but do a third for luck. So when x is 2, pop 2 into the function. 2 2's are 4, 4 add 3 is 7. So I've got 3 points there that I've plotted. Get out your ruler and draw in a straight line, and make sure the straight line goes all the way from minus 2 all the way up to 3 as required. All the way from minus 2 up to 3. Don't just do it between the points that you've chosen. Now for part B, we've got to shade the region satisfied by these 3 inequalities. Well, the first line, y equals 2x plus 3, we've already got on our graph. So we're just going to choose to plot the lines x equals 2 and y equals 1, and then return and have a think about these inequality signs. So x equals 2, be careful, this is a line going downwards through 2, because all the coordinates on that line for any points in there will have an x coordinate of 2. For example, 2, 0 or 2, 1 or 2, 2. The x coordinate is 2. Similarly, y equaling 1 is a horizontal line through 1. So get in your 3 lines. Now 99 times out of 100, I'm sure you're just always going to be shading in the bit between the 3 lines. You're trapping an area. But just double check. You want all the values where x is less than 2. So that's to the left of the red line. Y is greater than or equal to 1. So that's above the green line. And y is less than or equal to 2x plus 3. And that's to the right of the blue line. So as we've suspected, it's going to be the triangle trapped between those 3 lines. Question 20. So we've been asked to work out the circumference of the circle. Now to work out a circumference of a circle, that's pi times the diameter So to start off, we need to work out the length of the diameter. The diameter is the line from M through O to N. Now what you need to do is to pick up that we can use Pythagoras. We've got a right angled triangle here, so we can say that our diameter squared is going to equal 3.5 squared plus 9.7 squared, which is 106.34. So if we square root this, we get the diameter MN being 10.312 ... Now the circumference equals pi times the diameter, so pi times our 10.312 ... giving us 32.396 ... to three significant figures. Remember, that just means 3 digits in total. 1, 2, 3. Do I round my 3 up? Yes, I do, because the next digit is 5 or above. So my final answer is 32.4. Question 21. So we've bought a boat. It depreciates by 4% each year. That means it goes down in price by 4% each year. And we've got to work out the value of the boat after 3 years. So this is sort of compound interest, if you like. So first things first, we really need to work out the multiplier that we're going to be using. Now we're depreciating by 4%, so we're taking away 4% each year. 100% take away 4% is 96%. 96% as a decimal is 96 divided by 100. So the multiplier I'm going to use is 0.96. So we've bought the boat initially for £160,000, dollars rather, Hong Kong dollars. We multiply this by the multiplier to the power of 3, because we were trying to work out the boat at the end of 3 years. So the power always represents the number of years. Popping that into a calculator, we get this, and correct the nearest Hong Kong dollar, that is 141,558. Now part B, we get a salary increase of 5%. This is the salary after the increase. What was the salary before the increase? So again, think about it. Set up your 3 columns to gather your thoughts. Make the original value 100, because we're focusing on percentages here. So make this 100. We've got a 5% increase. So 100 plus 5 is 105. So the multiplier, if we're going from original to final, is 1.05. That takes us from 100 to 105. However, with the wording of this question, we're trying to go from our final price of 252,000 back to the original price. So we don't multiply by 1.05, we divide by 1.05. And 252,000 divided by 1.05 is 240,000.